And now, Team No Excuses presents The Ray Lewis Show.
It is a good day to be alive. I am absolutely amazing. I mean, when I tell you amazing, I feel magnificent. My energy is through the roof right now. And maybe it's because of not only what I'm doing, but it's, I think, who my guest is for today. Welcome to the Ray Lewis Show. I am excited for you to be here today. But this young lion that I ran into years and years ago, can't wait till you hear from him the humility, the faithful side of who he is as a man. And they're having one of the best seasons in the history of Pittsburgh Steelers season. And so I want to bring on somebody that I look at as a young lion, young brother himself, the great James Conner. Man, what is going on, young man? What is going on?
Man, Ray, you know how I feel about you, and you know how I feel. I'm honored to be here talking with you. I feel great. Like you said, we having a good season right now. Feel blessed, man. And as always, you my idol, you everything to me. So thank you for having me, bro.
Oh, brother, listen, but before we jump into the season, because that's the obvious, jump to the season, because you guys are doing something absolutely amazing. Brother, I want to go back. A few years, man, and I want to help people really realize, like, how we met, right? Where were you in your life, and what was your mentality to get out of the place that you were in?
Man, I was in a dark place, to start, for people who don't know the background.
Yeah.
Our first little interaction was over, I forget what show we were on, but you were interviewing me. We had the Steeler fans who had the cancer just like me, and he was fighting it. And then we got to meet over the summer. But for background, the reason why you mean so much to me, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2015. Hardest year of my life. It was my junior year at the University of Pittsburgh. And I remember just sitting down in that chair getting chemotherapy, confused, hurt, devastated, all those words, man. And I used to watch Ray Lewis highlights, just thinking about that day when I can put those pads back on. Your passion, how you played the game, just inspired me like no other. Truly look up to you. And so for us to be here where we are now, through both of our journeys, I'm so thankful that you called me. Look at me like a brother, call me Lion. That day when we met in the summer, you changed my life from that day on. And so, but no, I'm just thankful for you, who you are. But yeah, it was my battle, and that's how this is a quick little background.
Yeah. See, that's what makes this like so unique, right? Because, bro, like the only reason that I do these shows, right? Can y'all ride off in the sunset? Absolutely. But there are so many people that's been through so many different traumas, right? And has been through so much in life, Jay. And one of the things, and me and you talk about this all the time, but one of the things I always tell you this, you are shining light to so many people, right? You bring so much joy to so many people, but right, because of the way that people look at us, sometimes they look at us as just an athlete, but just listening to you, right? You're a man of vision. You're a man of faith. You're a man who understands what you want to do in life. And that's why when we connected, that's why I wanted people to understand that, brother, on why we connected. Because listen, I'm doing this thing, this Magnificent Life Challenge, right? About how to live a magnificent life. But honestly, a lot of people think, right, that the way you live a magnificent life is everything is perfect. But no. me and you, right? We beg to differ in that. And that's where the essence of who you are is, like, why I wanted you on my show, because I'm like, look, I want to highlight people who people who have ability to change people's lives by their stories and by their testimonies, man. So I'm excited for you to be on the show today. I mean, I'm glad you shared that story, because I tell people all the time, every time I see you play, and of course, when you did what y'all did in Baltimore, I'm like, oh my gosh, as much as I love this kid, He's up there doing it, but it's just so good to have that relationship with you, man. So let's jump into that, bro. Listen, you guys are 8-0, man. You are rolling right now. I mean, look, I think what I would want to ask from a defensive side of the ball, like, what does it, and I know you probably did at Pittsburgh, but not like this. What does it feel like, bro, to be with Big Ben, with where he is as a leader, right? And have all of these other pieces around you, Juju, Claypool, all of you guys just look so like you're having so much fun. What is that like playing in that offense? How much does Ben mean to this offense?
Man, first off, start with my QB, Ben. He's unbelievable. And it's such an honor taking the field with him. I used to watch him growing up, and now I'm in the huddle. Now I get to protect him when those linebackers are blitzing. I don't take that lightly, and so, and every day, we're reminded that this football is the ultimate team game. When we look at all the weapons that we got at receiver, our quarterback, our line, our defense, how well they're playing, it just lets you know, man, like everybody got each other back and everybody's getting held accountable. And that's why we're able to do something special so far. Now, the job's not finished. 8-0 is great. It feels great. There's been some amazing teams in this history of this organization, the Pittsburgh Steelers, going back to the 70s and all this team. Yeah. And none of those teams ever started out 8-0. Right. So after we beat Dallas in Dallas and we got our 8th victory, and Coach Tomlin became, he never had a losing season. Winning this coach, black coach, in the history of the game. Man, I take a step back. My numbers, stats aside, it's like, man, look where you are right now. Look at this moment. Look where you came from. Mm-hmm. You 8-0, just starting running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so grateful heart for sure. But every day reminded that this is the ultimate team game because James Washington, Juju, Claypool, Deontay, Marquise Pouncey, Ben Roethlisberger, Eric Ebron, and then Bud, TJ. Man, we trying to do it. We gonna do it. We gonna do it. Bro, we got a good one on Thanksgiving too.
Listen, I was I want to eat my food in peace, man.
Yeah, man, it'll be fun though. The competition of it is great. It's just we just on this journey, but job's not finished.
I know. Bro, look, man, that rivalry, and I'm glad that you're understanding that rivalry from the essence of it. I just had Coach Coward was on the show a couple of weeks ago. And it was just so funny because of the love-hate relationship that we had with Pittsburgh, right? And you guys are a little younger, so you haven't started beefing as much yet as me and the bus was beefing and me and Bro, it was real beef. Like, it was but it was beef.
It wasn't a game.
It wasn't a game. JC, listen, it was not a game. When we got ready to play Pittsburgh, I don't need nobody to call me. I don't need nothing. I need massages. I need people to relax.
Need body work. Yeah,
bro, because things are going to get really physical and it's going to get really intense. And that's what I'm seeing now, though, bro, from both sides. So, man, listen, congratulations, bro. I'm telling you on what you guys are doing. Because it's really magical to remove myself, right, for 8+ years now, and now see this rivalry still has the same sting to it. Where honestly, the game you guys won in Baltimore, it's the same exact thing. It's gonna come down to a turnover. It's gonna come down, right? Somebody has to make that play in the game. And yeah, people say that all the time. Well, people always do that. In this rivalry, that one drive is going to separate who wins or loses this game, brother. So it's amazing to see it, man. You guys are doing absolutely incredible in the season. Congratulations again. Big Ben, he'll always tell you this because of the respect we have for each other. Before the game, we used to always come to the 50-yard line, and he would put his hand on his chest, and I'll put mine over my chest, and we will bow to each other. And we'll go to
That's what the game about. That's what the game's about.
That's why we play the game.
Yeah, that's those are certain things that, it goes bigger than what the scores at the end. It's about everybody know what it takes to get to this level.
Yeah.
The respect. Two legends, before war,
Yeah. Because there's no alternative when you get ready to face a Ben Roethlisberger, right? You know exactly what you're gonna get. When you get a Bill Coward coach team or a Mike Tomlin coach team, you know exactly what you're gonna get. right?
For sure.
Baltimore, the exact same thing. What changed? What drove James Conner? Somebody at home don't know the vision. They can't figure it out. Some young athlete want to be it. Somebody's maybe dealing with cancer. Somebody may be dealing with something, JC. What is it that you can give them that will give them the motivation to keep getting up every day? You do it, and I'm telling you, your energy is contagious. I'm watching the way you run the ball. I'm watching the way you appreciate life. What is it? When was that turning point for you? And when did the light come on for James Conner to say, now I'm going to fight the fight and I'm going to carry out my mission?
I think it's two things. It's your faith, first and foremost, when you realize that you got a purpose here, purpose to represent something greater than yourself. And then the second thing is having no option. When you're back against the wall, when you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up.
Wow.
I hit rock bottom. I said, you going to lay down and die, or you going to start using your imagination. That's the only thing we got is the imagination. We're going to manifest this life that we want. So I started seeing the pictures. I started seeing a movie in my head. I'm sitting down in a chair getting the chemotherapy pumped into my chest, and I'm thinking to myself, this ain't it. It's not this, this ain't my last day. If God wake me up tomorrow, you got another plan for me. So I started using my imagination. Then I started visualizing me running down that field. I started visualizing me buying the house for my mother that I did. I started visualizing wearing that black and gold, before I even got there, putting on that black and gold. I see them practicing. You got to use your imagination. They say, your imagination is a preview for life's comings to you.
1,000%.
So my imagination got wild. I started, how you wherever you at, you done seen some of the best, but I guarantee however many houses you own or cars you got, you seen it before you had it. You know that it was coming to you. Yeah. And then all you did was walk that walk, let God lead you, and if everything just falls in your lap. You work hard, you believe it's going to fall in your lap. And that's what it's been, every situation I put in, every blessing I received, to be honest, it fell in my lap as I put that work in, so there really is no secrets to the game. But man, another thing is I've had tremendous people in my life to help me.
That's it.
You can't do it alone. Ever since high school, phenomenal coaches who changed my life, who treated me like they was their own. I've had phenomenal teammates, teachers and coaches, and my family, my brothers. I'm the youngest of 5, and all my brothers always believed in me, say you can do anything you want to do. You want to go to the NFL, that's what you're going to do. And it's bigger than NFL. It's about your character. It's a couple things, man, but use your imagination for people watching. And you got to use your imagination. You got to listen to people. You got to believe. That's the best advice I can give, Ray.
Bro, listen, it's not, I'm telling you, JC, remember this, and this is why our relationship works, right? Because every step of your career, every step of your life, your words, your vision, your fight, it means something.
Yes,
right?
sir.
It's much deeper, right? It's much deeper than just football, right? It goes way beyond football. And so the understanding of that is why I want that from great people who's found themselves in difficult situations, but found formulas on how to get out of it. Yes, that's why we do this. Baby boy, I'm telling you, that's why I do this, because your imagination is the same vision, right? That I'm actually discussing on this magnificent challenge that I'm doing right now, right? Because if you don't have an imagination, if you don't see yourself out of the situation that you're in, you'll stay stuck believing the same pain that you feel every day.
Same pain. It's a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle, right? And the thing about the cycle that makes it so vicious is it's always on your mind 24/7, churning. And if you don't have a system, if you can't imagine yourself on the other side of that, man, pain will drive you crazy. Worry will drive you insane. Fear will do something to your life that you don't even understand it's doing. It'll deteriorate your faith. That's where you started at. That's where you started at.
It's always going to be first.
JC, come on, baby. We know that's why the faith, this the substance of it. To know that what you're going to do, to know you're going to come out of there when you land on that bed. How many people right now with cancer that's laying on that bed? That's the only thing that they can think about is what the doctor can do for you. But I can tell you something else. You can do something better for yourself. You can use your imagination on what getting off this bed feel like and put your future back together. So I wanted to commend you on that, brother, because it's powerful, man. It's at a different place on where we are now in life, brother. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's leadership qualities, you know.
Yeah.
You know, because you got to go through it, and when you realize that you can't escape no adversity, that it's gonna come, you know. But that's why you got to keep your mental strong, so you know you can't let it break you.
Yeah. Look, let me ask you this because this is something that I've always been like really fond about. High school, college. Who is the one player or players that actually changed the way you saw the game?
Who changed the way I saw the game?
Yeah, like made you love it. Like I want to be like, for me.
Who you think I'm gonna say?
Huh?
Who you think you're gonna say? Who you think I'm gonna say when I heard you say it's a man on a man every time that it'll never change? You know? Hey, I can recite you for days, bro. It's a man on a man every time. It'll never change.
It'll never change, JC.
When you was walking around pregame and you whispered to your teammate, you said, "Put your hands on him and let's play." Put your hands on him and let's play. You know.
Boy, you're taking me back now. I'm about to go pull out my shoulder pads. I got 2 more quarters in me, JC. I promise.
Yeah, man. No, but all honesty, it was you. It was you for sure. Like, you know, because I got a defensive background. You know, I got my scholarship to the University of Pittsburgh to play defensive end. You know, and so, but you know, as time went on, I went to running back.
Yep.
So, man, I just fell in love with how you played the game. Deion Sanders.
Yep.
I was a huge fan of Emmitt Smith. You know, running back. You know, I actually liked the Cowboys growing up. Just seeing Emmitt just run so smooth and just, you know, so effortlessly. Man, a lot of them. So yeah, really like those 3, man, for sure. They changed my outlook on it.
Yeah, and so let me tell you why I asked you that, right? Because there were 3 players that changed the way I saw the game, right? Lawrence Taylor, Joe Montana, and Wilbert Marshall, right? Just those 3. Now, Ronnie Lott was one of my favorites. Roger Craig was one of my favorites.
What was it about Joe Montana? What was it about him?
So let me tell you something about Joe, right? And this is when I was like really just getting into the science of the game, right? And so I used to always watch Joe when he came out, and I used to always say, wow, like he studies like from a different place. And if you ever heard somebody interview him, if you ever heard him, it was always, he has the same thing. Joe started what Tom Brady picked up. Joe started what Peyton Manning picked up, what Drew Brees picked up. All of these guys, they had a science in their heads, right? And when I was younger, I picked up on that science on saying, wow, he's mastered the game. Like, so for people to play against Joe Montana, you have to be an assassin on the other side to really dictate or disturb what he's going to do to you. It's what makes Tom Brady so efficient, right? It's what makes Peyton Manning so efficient. But from a defensive perspective, JC, like you got to think about the way I was looking at it, and I was a child. And I was like, I used to say it back then, I say, how do you stop Joe Montana? Because San Francisco was my favorite team, right? Because of Ronnie Lott and Roger Craig. So I was like gone over Joe Montana. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was devastated, right? When San Fran traded Joe to Kansas City. I thought it was the worst day ever in my life, right? But it was what I started studying. Listen to this, youngster. In 1997, me and Peyton Manning sitting at the bar at the Ihilani for the Pro Bowl. So we're sitting at the bar, and Peyton's wife, she walks up and she says, I never thought I'd know a man better than I know my husband. And I'm like, what does that mean? And you know what it meant? She was basically just telling me how much Peyton studied.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Right. And that's what Joe did, right? So when
that mean he was in the film room study, he was at home studying you. He was everywhere.
Every day, JC, every day, right? And so me, from a defensive side, because I started reading stuff when I got in the game, and I was like, Joe Montana was that deep? Oh my goodness. Like he would study this and he would study that. Bro, I went home in 1997 after that Pro Bowl. Me and Eddie George was together. I went home. I said, oh, I got to change my study habits. Oh, I got to change the way I see this game. That's why I asked you that question. Who changed the way you saw the game? Because Joe, Peyton, Tom, they made me change the way a defensive player was looked at. A defensive player is looked at that we should react. What I changed my game to is I will dictate what you think I'm going to react to. But I got to know what's coming. If I don't know what's coming, then if a cover one, middle safety in the middle of the field, then you know you got to come back, you got to curl, you got to hitch, you got all of those, right? Cover two, that being going to check, say check. They're going to check to a run because you're going to run against cover two. All of those chess pieces, bro, that you started playing is why Joe Montana was one of the biggest ones to kind of change my mentality. And then it went to Peyton, then it went to Brady once I started studying. That's why I always ask that question, because the game historically, there's always a young player who took something from somebody that they saw and they use it and they use it and they use it. And the day that you become, listen to me, because you're on a path, but this is a long path, right? The day that I walked in to put on that gold jacket, straight up, gun truth. Now I was a kid. I wanted to be a kid for a minute, right? So I put on this gold jacket and I walked up to Joe Montana and I'm like, oh my goodness. I am standing next to Joe Montana, the legend.
Look what we did.
Look at that's what that did. That's what it gave me, baby boy. So I always
It's crazy that 16 years, all that work you did was for that one moment. You know, that's crazy. What it comes down to is just moments that can't ever be taken from you.
You can never, JC, when I was broke, when daddy wasn't around, when nobody wasn't around, and I had a dream, I had a vision, I had an imagination.
Yes, sir.
One day I'm gonna get there. One day I'm gonna find myself there. That man standing next to Joe Montana, Dick Butkus, Lawrence Taylor, Willie Lanier, Jim Kelly. Oh my gosh, bro. Putting on that gold jacket, man. Let me tell you something. Yes, play this game the way the game should be played, because you're on a heck of a doing that. You understand?
Thank you. Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Yeah, brother, because I wanted to have you on this show because your energy is so positive, and I wanted people to really start to get to know you outside of the field. That's one thing about us. We always got on helmets and we always doing this. But brother, your message is needed. Your walk is needed. Your vision is needed. Right, it's really needed, JC, and that's why when this season over, we're gonna reconnect again, man. Listen, I don't want to hold you long, brother. I appreciate you, man. I'm telling you, continue success with everything you're doing. You know, it's always hard for me to say out my mouth, "Go Steelers," so it will never happen. Okay? You
didn't even sound right saying Steelers just did.
You see that? I just broke out in hives just then. Not my skin scratched. Right. But I am looking forward to that rematch on Thanksgiving night. Y'all got some business to handle. We got some business to handle on our end. But brother, you're amazing. Your energy is amazing. Every time we talk, we always go here. And I'm telling you, I told you this the first time and the second time and the third time. It amazes me how much you actually studied me in your time of your greatest pain. Mm-hmm. That amazes me. So all I'm telling you is this is why we do what we do.
This is why, yeah. You a true warrior, bro. I remember you called me a warrior first, you know, and so that meant everything to me. But you know, life is short, so I just want to tell you, as you already know, I appreciate you, bro. I love you, man. Yeah. You inspire me to this day. Yeah. And until next time, bro, I hope to see you soon. I know I will.
I love you, boy. I love you, all man. Right. You take care of yourself, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
All right. Yep.
Yes, sir. You know, see that I think once again, right? Checking in, right? This is when you find yourself in those moments of always reflecting, right? Because I'm in the middle of a magnificent life challenge right now, right? Where I'm challenging people to be better, and I'm challenging people to find the foundation, and I'm challenging people to really go beyond their circumstances. And now you have a young guy like James Conner on here who's been through the lowest you can go, to where you're sitting there and the doctor is saying that if you have to take this chemo, and so many people are going through this battle. And if you didn't take nothing else from James, I want you, because this is what's going on in my life, is that we're building something, but James Conner is one of the poster children to what it means to have the faith enough to keep going, right? To have the imagination enough to see yourself out of a bad situation. And this is what I said this last night in this magnificent challenge, right? Is that everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm challenging myself to do, it's only because I never want to go back to where I once was. I never want to feel what that feels like again. I never want to find myself in that area again. So I'm telling you, somebody is in a crossroad in their life to where you have to make a hard decision. I call it a pivot. You got to make a pivot right now in your life, no matter how great the storm, no matter how distracting life could be. If you have faith and if you have an imagination to change your situation, there are ways you can do it. James kind of made it simple. And I'm telling you again, you got to make a pivot in life. And sometimes when you make that pivot, you got to go against everything that you see, you hear, or what's going on. Look, I've had some good time to think about my next thoughts about being magnificent, right? Because I'm running this challenge. And inside of this challenge is what I want the challenge to carry over to the Ray Lewis Show, right? Finding your magnificent self. Like everybody has magnificence inside of them, but you got to be able to let it go and share it. But one of the reasons why you can't share it, listen why, because you're worrying about everybody else's opinions, right? You got to pay attention to people's tweets and all of these things. But it's taken away from who you are, and your magnificence is inside of you, but it's hidden because you have taken it away from your vision. Listen to this. James said the only thing that helped him come out of what he was his imagination. He saw him helping his body. That's why your vision is everything. The world needs your vision. There's no longer people keep asking. Last night on Magnificent Life Challenge, how do you do this? How do you do this? Because your passion will usher you into your purpose. I guarantee it, but you gotta have a passion for something. Because if you don't have a passion for something, then you'll fall for anything. Your imagination, your vision, it must be aligned. And the reason why it must be aligned, because when you have the imagination and that vision, then it becomes a plan. But the only way it becomes a plan is your self-confidence defines your destiny. Listen to what I'm telling you. You walk differently. You move differently. If you're confident in yourself, I'm telling you something. You gotta find a way to love yourself daily. This is your duty. How do you give yourself the confidence that you should have in life? Let me tell you one of the key ways to always knowing when you're in control of your life. Your posture dictates your direction in life. You watch people who walk around with their chest high, walk around with their head, with their chin up. They know one thing. I am confident in who I am, not what I have, but I am confident in who I am. I want you to start doing something, even in your posture. When you start brushing your teeth in the morning, stop brushing your teeth with your head down. Start brushing your teeth with your head up. And don't look at all your features of your face and worry about what's breaking out and what's going on here. Look in your eyeballs to find out who you are. And I want you to end with this, because sometimes pain has to put us here. James spoke about it, being on that hospital bed, myself being in some really dark places. You have to slow down. You have to slow life down. You cannot continue to go at the speed of social media. There's too many people's business to pay attention to, and it has nothing to do with you. And if you don't do nothing else, stop comparing yourself, your situation, your fight, your pains. Stop comparing all of that with everybody else. You're fighting a battle that you can never win. One thing that being in a bad place, being in a dark place gives you is it gives you perspective. And you know the perspective it actually gives you that'll forever change your life is the only person that's going to fight for you is you. But if you don't slow down, and if you don't reflect, and if you don't renew, and if you don't restore, then you always compare yourself to somebody else. You always think that the grass is greener on the other side. And in reality, it's really not. It's inside of you. Everything that you're looking for. And today was special for me because, and I tell people this all the time, today was special for me because I asked a young man, who is the people that inspired you? This ain't a script. This ain't action. This ain't actors. It's real life. And to hear this kid, when we connected, when he was going through his cancer, and I had him on my podcast at this time, Tackling Life, with Dr. Kristen Conti. And I spoke into his life, not knowing the impact that I had on his life. Listen to what I'm telling you when I say slow down and stop comparing. Because when you walk upright, when you put faith in the forefront of your image, but when you put your vision and your imagination in your heart, then people pay attention to what you say, what you do, and how you do it. And that's what that young man just shared today. Humbly, I accept listening to him, saying, you are my all-time guy. Now, that's one of the great young stars of this game. But the question is, who's watching you? Who's paying attention to you? Let's round this thing up, man. You must discover your vision, your passion, and your self-confidence. It's mandatory for you to write these things down. And if you don't have a vision, then go find something that you really like doing, that you're passionate about. And that's not everybody else's business. But before you do that, find ways to love yourself. Every day I get up in the morning and I say, I am who I am. From there, you don't like it, deal with it. But it is what it is. And another thing I wake up and tell myself every day, I am absolutely amazing. People ask me all the time, they say, how you doing? I say, I'm amazing. And then they say, why you look like that? I say, because that's when you feel good, that you don't need nobody else. Just know I'm amazing. And then people start to realize that you always say that. People always say to me, you always say that. Okay, that's fine. Then I'm always amazing. Right? I don't have to go through this up and down roller coaster. I'm mad, I'm glad, I'm confused, I'm disappointed, I'm abused. It's too much once you start playing that emotional roller coaster. Challenge yourself to do something. Today is about finding your magnificent self. This magnificent life challenge. These are your takeaways. Faith is available. I need you to praise yourself. But when you take time to discover your magnificent self, I want you to discover what's magnificent about you. Not that your eyes may be green or hazel, and those type of things. But what makes you amazing? What makes you magnificent? I think some of the things that makes me amazing, honestly, magnificent, is that I just love helping people. I just love putting a smile on people's faces that never know it's coming. I tell you something else I think that just makes all of us magnificent is when you do something, come through something, and get on the other side of it and thrive and climb a mountain that's so high that the world says you can't get out of this, you can't find your way out of it, but you find a way out of it. And then you become a change agent of actually true change. Wow. That's why we do this show. That's why the back end of everybody who helps me put this show together, that's what makes the team magnificent. So listen, do yourself a favor this week. Rediscover your magnificent self. And really, when somebody starts asking you, who are you, or describe yourself to somebody, I describe myself simply. I am who I am. And I ain't going against that. You have to become an agent of change to where your whole life, all you want to do is be the example So when somebody sees you, they want to be like you. But watch this. And I'm going to leave you with this. There's only one you. Your DNA is only one you. Your fingerprints is only one you. So stop trying to worry about everybody else. Stop comparing, right? Praise yourself, love yourself, right? And when you get time, and I'm just being honest, spend some real quality time with yourself and find out what you like, who you like to be around, what you don't like. And I guarantee at the end of that, you'll find a magnificent life. And every day, you'll find a different way to realize that you are amazing, that we're all amazing. And the only thing that situations and traumas take us through is to sharpen the tool. Good book says iron sharpens iron. And guess what? It's going to take men and women to sharpen each other. And that's how we all become magnificent. Thank you for joining me. It does not get any better. James Conner my heart is full. My heart is absolutely full by just listening to him. I'm a father of some beautiful kings and queens, but I'm a father of many. And to have him as a young lion in my pride, to know the things that we talk about, I'm telling you, it's priceless to live a life that changes somebody else's life. That's why we do what we do. Listen, see more at teamnoexcuses.tv. But I'm telling you, we're only going to go deeper until you find out who your magnificent self really is. All right? And when somebody asks you how you're feeling, you tell them, but you must be feeling it, that I am amazing. And when you tell them you're amazing, you tell them why you're amazing. See, sometimes I got to take you to church before I let you out of here. Sometimes you got to know that all power is in your hands. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Thanks for joining in to the Ray Lewis Show. Absolutely amazing. And I will see you next week. God bless you.